Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Joe, and tonight I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Instagram phenomenon, Project Bryant.
Hola, everyone.
Oh, you can speak Spanish too.
Oh, 2 words. Hola and si.
I'm still lost. Just kidding.
How's everyone going?
They can't answer you back.
Oh, that's true. They should.
They can't see you really.
Darn it. Unless they watch.
Well, they can watch the video after the show.
Yes. Yeah.
It'll be on all of our, of course, Facebook page, YouTube, and all that stuff. We'll talk about that later. Listen, today we're just going to talk some fun stuff. Why Bryant is here today.
Yes.
Then I have an announcement to make at the end of the show. Hopefully we have time.
All right.
All right, Bryant, I got to ask you the first question.
Sure.
What do you carry for your EDC?
Today, or what is my normal carry?
You're normal.
Okay.
You switch all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, you're worse than me. Okay.
I have a whole drawer full of different stuff. I'm kind of a EDC junkie, so today I've got a Benchmade Cryptillion knife.
Oh, a knife.
Yes, a pocket knife. I think everyone should have a pocket knife.
You know, this is Talking Guns with Joe. Talking Guns.
Guns, this is true.
We can add.
I carry one of those. I carry one of those too, but
okay.
And then I got a Leatherman multi-tool. I carry a flashlight every day, a little O-light, and then I carry a Glock 43.
Oh, you got the Glock 43 today.
Glock 43. Always.
You're bigger than me then, because I can have a 42.
42. That's a good gun.
And I only have one knife today.
Only one?
Only one.
I usually have one knife, and then the multi-tool has a knife.
All right. I want to talk about knives for a little bit.
All right. I'm a knife aficionado, however you would say that.
You got me more into knives. You've made me spend some money in the past couple of weeks on knives.
It's addicting. It's like a drug.
What's your favorite knife and why?
Oh, geez. My very most favorite knife is a Benchmade 940, even though I don't think Benchmades are always the greatest knives. But that one just does it for me. Oh, mine's a 940-1 for all you really nerdy knife guys out there.
Is this a switchblade? Is this a...
It's neither. It's a manual knife. It's got what they call an axis lock. So when you go to deploy it, you can bring it back with this little, I guess, pullback button type thing. So it's kind of fun to mess with. And then it's got S90V steel for all you nerdy knife folks listening, which I love. S90V is like the best.
I can't hear you when you whisper.
Oh, that's true.
No, I'm big. You got me more into knives. I had a knife, and I have a Benchmade that I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not knocking Benchmade at all.
They're dropping in quality control right now.
You can say it. I can't.
Well, the ones that I've had have been dropping in quality control.
You're with Aegis Tactical as well.
Yep.
So I see you quite often.
Yep.
And we open up a lot of boxes.
Yes, we do.
So the majority of the time with my knife, I open boxes. And all I'm doing is cutting the tape.
Yep.
I'm not cutting the cardboard, nothing like that. And the problem I found with my Benchmade, which I love, is after 2-3 days into the week, by Wednesday, it's dull.
Yeah. Yep.
And I got that little leather thing in my office. I sit there sharpening it up and doing all that.
Yeah.
It got annoying.
Yeah, you keep stropping it, and then it's got a convex edge, and then it just dulls quicker. I'm speaking Spanish to you, I know.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So we started the show.
Yeah.
Then you got me to get into this thing that I got in my hands right now. You can listen to this one, folks. Yes, that's an automatic. That's what I like. It's a switchblade. And yes, they are legal here in the state of Florida.
Yes, they are.
And which one is this one again?
That is a Medford. I forget the exact.
It's not the Medford.
That's not the Medford?
No, Medford's the big one.
Oh, my, I can't ever say it. Mitar.
This is the Mitar A.
Mitar.
Which just means auto.
Sorry, guys.
And this is
aesthetic. Aesthetically, it's a...
No, isn't that the name of the company?
Yes.
Aesthetic. Well, it's a little dirty.
Yeah.
And this has a steel on it. And folks, why we're telling you about the steel is when you buy a knife, don't just buy that cheap $12 knife you see somewhere. It might work for buttering your toast.
Yeah.
But not that we're using this as a defensive tool every day.
No, but it's a tool, though.
I pull out my knife numerous times a day.
Yep, so do I.
On average, I pull out my gun
0
once a day.
To put it away?
To put it away. So it's me, and even when I was on the job, the reason I started carrying knives up there in New Jersey, which switchblades were illegal, but they had a little hidden statute for law enforcement officers to be able to carry them, was I was off duty, driving down Route 1, and a car flipped over in front of me. Well, trying to get the people out of the car, I couldn't because their seatbelts were jammed.
Oh, man.
So I'm trying to help them out. And I had one of those, remember the old Swiss Army knives, the red ones that had all the little different things on there?
Those are Victorinox, folks.
It's a what?
A Victorinox.
Okay.
That's the brand of, everyone listening, that's a brand of a Swiss Army knife. That's Victorinox.
Yeah, it was the cool thing to have back then.
Yeah.
That's Jersey. It's all we could have.
Still kind of cool.
And you ever try to open something like that up while you're trying to support somebody's head?
No.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I was using teeth and everything trying to open this thing.
Oh, jeez.
That next day, I found myself a good knife, and I've been carrying one ever since.
Yeah. I agree. Knives matter.
And I had to do it down here one time. This is a while ago. There was a plane that crashed. 301. The plane just took off from the Sarasota airport.
I think I heard about this.
And it was instant engine failure when they took off. So they tried turning it around and gliding back to the airport. They just didn't make it.
Yeah.
I happened to be sitting in an office, and it was like right in the parking lot. It came down.
Oh, man.
So I go out there, and again, we couldn't get the pilot out. We got the passenger out, couldn't get the pilot out, and I had my knife.
Had to cut a seatbelt.
I was able to cut the seatbelt off.
Yeah, they even make knives that have seatbelt cutters on them now.
Yeah.
Good ones, not cheapo ones.
Yeah, so that's why I always carry a knife. You'll always see me with one. They just work. It's a very useful tool, and it can be used for defensive purposes as well. But again, the last ones it was doling up like crazy, just annoying me. It was to the point where I wanted to throw it away, but I liked it too much. And it was a gift, so it had some sentimental value to it. But then you got me into this thing, which I'm holding in my hands. And I haven't sharpened it yet.
It's because it's a powdered steel, folks.
Okay, what is a powdered steel?
A powdered steel is, so believe it or not, here's where it gets crazy. That actually has the same kind of steel that your Benchmade has. But this is a powdered steel version. So what they do is they essentially turn that steel, whatever, makeup that steel has, and they powder. They turn it into a powder, and then they melt it, and then they forge it again. And what it does is it changes the grain structure, allowing the edge to last quite a bit longer than your previous knives.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is going to...
it's nerdy stuff, guys. Come in and see me. We'll talk shop.
It's going to need some attention soon, I think.
Yeah. I got my kit here on Tuesday.
All right. Bring it in.
I will.
Brian's bringing his kit here Tuesday. The Aegis Tactical, and he's going to be tuning up my knives that he makes me buy.
Yeah.
But we've been working on a special project, which you'll soon find out about. And
using my knife a lot.
Yes. You got me to buy a knife, Nylox.
Yes.
Steel.
That one is new to me. I haven't actually owned a Nylox steel. So you're ahead of me on that one.
I'm ahead of him.
Yeah, Nylox is a pretty fancy steel. So nowadays you get into, if we're talking steels, you get into this new realm of what you would usually call super steels. So they're super high edge retention and they're super corrosion resistance, which is hard to get both in most steels. So a lot of these super steel knives I haven't messed with yet. I've got a couple of them, but not all the new fancy ones.
And that's probably the one I use daily. Because I really want to test how long it lasts till we actually have to sharpen the knife.
And that one's a DPX too, which is a awesome Italian knife for all you knife guys out there.
It's a nice custom knife, Italian stuff. I like that. It's cool. It's not an automatic, which really bothered me at first.
Yeah. It deploys fast though.
Yeah, you couldn't give it to.
No, I couldn't.
Takes a little bit of practice, but there's a certain project that we're working on. We had, I guess it's like 1970s wood tile.
Yeah. I feel like you're in the 76.
It's
movie.
retro. Yeah. It's really cool. I mean,
Chippendales and all.
I'm going to have ABBA playing in the background and everything when it opens up. We'll tell you about that soon. That's still a secret. But listen, they were cutting the wood tiles with that knife yesterday.
Just what, like chopping down on them?
Chopping down. They were doing everything. Slicing the tiles, getting to get it to fit in the right way.
That's awesome. That's how you know you got a good blade.
Yeah, but it's not that sharp anymore, I don't think.
No?
At least they told me it wasn't.
Not after that. Probably because it's going into the concrete or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, we'll resharpen it on Tuesday.
Nobody realizes I had a guy borrow my knife one day, and that knife. And folks, these knives aren't that cheap. They weren't that expensive, but these were, what, 300 and something a piece, I think?
Yeah, right around 300.
I mean, that's a lot of money for a knife.
Yeah.
Figuring.
Well, yeah. Left you a lifetime, though.
I lied to a guy asked me one day, do you have a knife? Of course I have a knife, so I'm going to brag and show him my knife. Look at this bad boy. I'm waiting for these questions. I never got the question. He came back in. He goes, thanks very much. I was like, oh, what was it for? Well, I had to tighten the screw on my car.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me?
Did he use the blade?
Yeah, but there's no marks on it whatsoever.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know what he did. At first, I was like, I don't even want to open it in front of him because I might start crying.
You might start throwing it at him.
Yeah, because the knife was like 2 weeks old, if that.
Yeah.
So.
And that was the DPX?
Yes.
Should we tell them what you did with the...
You can. Folks, this is a disgusting story.
I'll keep it less gross. So we had the door open the other day, and flying in for all you
door open at the shop.
Yeah, somebody was leaving, and a big palmetto bug flew in, or flying cockroach, which is gross.
Folks, it's a flying cockroach. I don't care what you call it. You can make it sound fancy and call it a palmetto bug.
Palmetto bug.
It's a cockroach with wings.
It was not small, so it was like an inch long.
It looked like a roller
inch and a half
skate
maybe.
Was coming in, flying.
And it landed on a product here sitting on a peg shelf. And Joe pulled out his new DPX knife.
Before I cut all the tiles.
Yeah, this is before the tiles. And he felt like being a fruit ninja or a bug ninja, I guess.
I am a ninja.
And he swiped his knife at it. He kind of swung at it. And I thought he was just going to kind of like hit it and it was going to fly around. And sure enough, he chopped the head off the cockroach. Clean as could be. This is gross, I'm sorry. And it was just laying there kicking in two pieces. It was
completely, perfectly, like you use a razor blade.
Like a laser came through and yeah, it was crazy. So that was when I was like, all right, that is
somebody have new career as an exterminator.
Yeah, there you go.
So
we'll get
knives are fun.
Yes, they are.
I love my full autos. Like the Benchmade, the Infidel. The new Hogue stuff is flat out incredible.
Folks, if you don't know what Hogue knives are, you got to come in and hear about it because they are, in my opinion, probably the best built knives right now. They really are.
People think they just make grips for guns.
Yeah, and they make good grips.
They make knives, folks.
They make better knives than they do grips.
And we can talk about that in a second when we return. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for sticking with us. Again, I am Joe, and I am joined today by Project Bryant. And the reason I call him Project Bryant, he's really just Bryant.
Yeah.
He was like an Instagram phenomenon
for a little
gun
bit.
World.
Yeah. I got a little famous for a minute.
For a minute, you made money off of it.
I did.
Somebody bought your page off you.
I still am on my new page. I'm still making money. Not a lot, folks. It's not a lot. But
it's how amazing is you share pictures, you take pictures, put them on the page, and people send you free things.
Yeah.
And then eventually somebody cuts you a big check to buy it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I'm doing this all wrong.
Yeah, but it's just a hobby thing. It's not a.
Yeah, but you're making money on your hobby, so
that's true.
That's living the dream.
That's called a job. A good job.
Oh yeah, you just ruined it for me. Yeah. Thanks. So listen, we'll go real quick with Hogue, then we'll get off the knife subject.
Yeah.
I never knew Hogue made knives.
Yeah.
I was at a dealer show one day. I'm at the Hogue booth, and they're showing us all the grips and all this stuff. And I see the guy's knife sticking out of his pocket a little bit. And I'm somewhat of a knife guy. I like knives.
Yeah. You notice those things.
Hey, what kind of knife are you carrying? Because it looked like you had the Hogue thing on the clip.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, it's the new Hogue, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, huh? Can I see this thing? He pulls it out and shows it to me, and it's a full auto.
Yeah.
Out the front.
Out the front.
Push it up. The knife blade comes flying out. Pull it back. It goes flying back in. That's like, when did you start making knives? We've always made knives. And just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I said, well, how come they're here, not here at the show? Do you know it's harder to get places to ship you a knife than it is a firearm?
Really?
If it's a full auto knife or even a switchblade.
Interesting.
Because they're illegal in a lot of states.
Yes.
And folks, you got to listen out there. If you're a Florida concealed carry holder and you're traveling to another state with your concealed weapons license, that's fine for your handgun and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch with your knives.
There's very tricky knife laws. There's actually apps to go over all the nuances between the states.
I don't like a lot of those apps.
Yeah. They're not always. It's not a lawyer telling you.
Yeah. You got a guy like Project Bryant here running the app, and if he gets tired one day and doesn't do the whole thing, whatever, is just not up to date on it, you can get in trouble.
Yes.
He's not.
Very much so.
If you go to Divisional Licensing's website, it has a difference. All the states we have reciprocity with, and there's little links next to it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have like the numbers 1, 2, 3, whatever. You go down to the bottom of the pages, it'll give you a rough guideline of what the differences
of
are.
what it is.
And some of them you do have to watch with knives.
Yeah. When I went to New York last year, I actually...
Oh, no, you go to jail.
Yeah, I couldn't bring any knife except for my little Victorinox, the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I was able to bring that, but I had to... The apps wouldn't give it to me very clearly, and I actually had to go and figure out their laws because I couldn't carry up there. And
yeah.
So
we avoid the Communist Republic of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. The list goes on. But
yes, it does.
Anyway, so the whole Hogue thing, he's showing me all these Hogue knives. And of course, I'm like, well, how come you don't have them at the show? Because they don't sell them at the gun shows.
Yeah.
And these are dealer shows, not a standard gun show. And it just blew my mind. So long story short, we're now a dealer for Hogue. Yeah, we
stock and sell Hogues. They're
can't keep them in stock.
They're underrated. So underrated.
They are. The real knife guys like yourself know about them.
Yeah. The nerdy knife guys know. They don't advertise, folks. Hogue is not one of those companies that you see a bunch of commercials for. They send a bunch of stuff out to shops, and they're not blasting you with advertising. So that the gems like a Hogue knife are few and far between. It's got the same steel as your $350 knife there.
Yeah.
And they're usually $100 to $150 for your side folders.
Yeah, not the ones I have.
Yeah, the autos are the out the front autos are a good bit more.
But they're and they just got a huge contract.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that,
I
so I just won't bring it up. But
they got a special secret ninja contract.
They have a special secret ninja contract, and they can't sell the gun to the public or the knife to the public.
Oh, and they just won the HK bid too. So HK knives went from
because Benchmade had that.
Yeah, Benchmade's been dropping the ball.
Which that was actually pretty awesome back in the day. If you wanted a less expensive good knife, get the HK version
of the Benchmade.
It was the Benchmade, just with HK's emblem on it.
Yep. SIG is now commissioning all their knives through Hogue. I don't know if you've heard that or not yet.
I didn't know SIG had knives.
Yeah. All the new, it's basically the same knives as the Hogue. They're just rebranding them.
Okay.
Selling them under the SIG name too. It's kind of cool. Side note.
It is, but I'd rather just go right to the Hogue.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
Yeah. Get the direct one.
Yeah. I'd even spend a couple extra bucks. I just want their.
They're the same price.
Are the same price?
Yeah. I think the SIG ones are actually more just because it says SIG.
Probably. They'll put a little Legion emblem on it and say it's PVD coding and charge you $400 more.
Exactly.
Which the Legion is. I got to buy one.
Yeah. We just sold one.
I know.
Or I think we sold two.
Probably did.
I think we did sell two.
I really went to 229. 226 is my favorite of all time guns to go to the range and shoot.
Yeah. It's a sick gun.
But I have one. Yeah. I got the MK25. It was a gift. Can't get rid of it. Well, I actually don't even shoot it. But I went to 229 Legion.
229.
Add to the collection.
I want a 226 in single action only. I don't know why, but I do.
I'm used to the trigger. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
My next one's going to be a Fusion, though.
Yeah. I love me some Fusions.
I want two. I want the new Riptide C, and I want my Reaction back.
A Reaction. Those are cool. The Riptide C is my favorite.
I've told you many times. Folks. They're 1911s.
Yep.
They're made locally right here in Florida, actually down in Venice.
Venice, Florida. Yeah, very close.
Bob Serva is the owner. He's the man, the myth, the legend behind 1911s. These things are just phenomenal. His Pro Series, I mean, they're going to run anywhere from upper 2000s on up.
Yeah.
Then he has his Freedom Series.
Those are my favorite.
Which we call the Affordable Series.
Yeah.
Which is what he calls his production gun, but it's really not a production gun.
It's still hand fitted.
Everything's hand fitted.
Yeah.
It's him, his son, just hand fitting these things, putting them together. They have a lot more people that work there, but they do the guns.
And not to bash other 1911 makers, because there's a lot out there, but, we get in. Heck, we've got one right now, a high-end, I won't name the brand, a high-end, 1911, and it's about $600-700 more than that Riptide C that I want, and it is not even close to the quality, not even close.
We had I wonder if I can say this story. I'm going to say it anyway.
All right.
We had a big name in 1911s come here. I'm not going to use their name, but it begins with a C, ends with a T, and there's only two letters in the middle. Brian's looking at me like you can't figure this out. But they came in our shop to do some kind of a surprise inspection. And so they're trying to get us to sell 1911s.
Right.
So we pulled out one of theirs, and it was one of the high-end ones. We're higher end. It was $1,400 and some dollars. And then we pulled out a $700-800 Freedom series from Fusion, and we're showing them the difference. And we take the high end company, we won't mention their name, took their gun and started shaking it, and the thing rattled like it was a can of nuts or something like that. Because
it's production lines.
Then we took the Fusion, shook it, and it made no noise.
Yeah, they're tight.
And so long story short, we're no longer a dealer for that other brand. They pulled our...
I now know what brand you speak of because I haven't seen one in a while. That's why it kind
they
of
pulled our dealership from them.
Yeah, poor guys.
Because of that situation. And to me, I think that's just poor sportsmanship, which we don't mind anyway, because the one that was sitting here was here for over a year.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't get rid of it when they saw the other one.
It was a stainless one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It was pretty. It was a good-looking gun.
Yeah, I remember that.
But anyway, they're just living off their name.
Yeah. So. A lot of companies are right now, too. Not all of them. But
it's scary. The whole, and we talk about this every show, the gun industry, you're pretty new to this. You've been in the guns for I don't know how long.
I've been in the guns for about 7 years.
Okay. So. And now you're working in that industry.
Yeah.
Is it what you thought it was?
No.
It's fun.
Oh, yes.
But it's
definitely cool, too.
It's definitely fun. It's not what people think it is.
No.
Yeah.
There's not as much money in it either.
No, there's no margin in guns, folks. You do it because you love it, or
it's a passion of love.
Yeah,
very much so.
But it's fun though.
Yeah, I do.
I love when the first time buyer comes in that's never touched a gun before.
Yeah, you get to convey your energy for it when they're like that.
Yeah, your energy, your knowledge, everything.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's why they come here.
I like those people that are like just shooting or they're getting into shooting, because then I can reference and say, like this is where I was a few years ago, and I can kind of give them my story to it, and it tends to help, I think.
Yeah, I made not all the mistakes. I made some mistakes buying guns in the beginning, but again, I came from New Jersey where it was next to impossible.
Right.
I was on the job. My department gave me a gun for free. When I went to go buy one for backup. Actually, my off-duty gun because we couldn't carry backup.
Glock 22?
No. I had a 23 was the first one.
Oh.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
It's a 19, but it's a 40 cal.
Oh, that's what
it was just getting a little big in the summertime up there because, yes, it gets hot up there in the summer to carry. And you had to carry up there. So I wanted a smaller gun. And I looked at the 26, 27 when they came out. Didn't really do it for me. For the size difference, I think I bought the Walther PPK.
PPKs are cool.
And the whole James Bond gun was just cool looking and all that. Should I have bought it? No, but it was cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
It took me 6 months to get a permit to buy it.
Oh, my gosh.
I went to the chief. I'm like, you gave me one for free.
6 months?
Yes.
And I would lose my mind.
Yes, I did.
What if you got shot in that 6 months?
Well, I carried my other one.
Oh, okay.
It's not like I didn't have one. But it was just ridiculous. So then when I moved down here to Florida, I just went gun nuts.
Yeah.
I was just buying everything.
Yeah.
But I'll tell the story real quick. We're going to run out of time, but I'll start it. When I first got into this, when I came back from Iraq, I got into just doing training. That's all we wanted to do was train. And I wanted nothing to do with retail. I am the world's worst salesman. I will talk myself or people out of buying guns.
Like, I don't like that one.
You see that gun? Yeah, you don't like that gun. You won't like it. No, it's a piece of garbage.
That's a garbage one.
Yeah. We call them gun show guns.
Yeah. They look pretty.
They look pretty, but they're garbage. So we're just doing classes. We just moved out here to Lakewood Ranch on Lee in the Road where we're at. We only had the one single unit. We had 3 classrooms, and that was it. We used to go use other ranges to go shoot and all that, and just 3 classrooms. It looked like a doctor's office almost. Everything was that sterile white.
Like a dental.
Yeah. And we had the little cutout window like they have at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And we had the young lady sitting back there. Listen, we will finish this when we return in 1 minute. And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. And I'm finishing the story about how we got started.
Yeah.
Real quick, because I don't think Project Bryant knows this whole story.
I actually haven't heard the story yet. So this is all new to me.
It's all new. So we're sitting there. Again, it looked like a sterile doctor's office.
Yeah.
And very boring. I put a TV on the wall. That was the big exciting thing. But we had fun. We did our classes that we were doing. People didn't care what it looked like. But we had 3 classrooms at the time. And all classrooms at a certain time during the day had people in it.
Okay.
Times have changed.
Yes.
Whole thing that got us selling guns, a majority of our client base was female, which we still have a large female client base. And a young lady. She was a young 82. Came in with her first gun that she just bought at the local gun shop.
Nice.
And she wanted to learn how to shoot it.
Sure.
Now, first, the story's crazy. And the gun shop actually really ticked me off.
Yeah.
Or the salesman there. But first off, they sold her an Airweight 38 Special.
They sold an 80-some-year-old lady an Airweight?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Folks, an Airweight's a revolver.
Yes.
It's a little 38 Special. It's a cool little gun.
Very tiny, lightweight revolver.
Extremely lightweight, which means
has
more recoil.
A lot of kick.
It kicks like you wouldn't believe.
I hate shooting my Airweight. Let's just say that.
Yeah, they're not enjoyable.
No. It's a cool gun, though.
It is. But she had this gun, and when I'm looking at her hands, I'm like, she couldn't open up her hands all the way.
Oh.
She had arthritis so bad in her hands. And I'm sitting there going, wow, she's not going to be able to press the trigger on this gun at all.
Could she even reach the trigger?
She could.
Okay.
But anyway, we're in the class talking, blah, 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 doing the class, and we get to the fundamentals. We're talking about the grip and all that stuff, and the trigger, pull, press, squeeze, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of really talking to her, looking at her as I'm talking, and she says, yep, she had a problem. That's why they told her at the gun shop to use 2 fingers.
Oh, my goodness.
So she would use her left and right index finger.
To pull the trigger.
Yes. And she was all her might. Because it's about a 12-pound pull.
Yeah.
If not more.
If not more, I was going to say.
A lot of our poundage gauge only goes up to 14 pounds. Right. And most of the time with those, it maxes out.
It bottoms out.
So, again, doing the class, I'm talking. She goes, well, I know I can make it go bang. Okay, you told me you never went to the range with your gun. Well, they sold her snap caps.
Okay.
With the gun. They didn't explain to her what anything was.
Oh, geez.
They said, just practice with these. So when she got home, she got a little confused between the snap caps and the real thing.
She shot it in her house?
5 rounds in her house.
Oh, my gosh.
She didn't realize there were live rounds going off.
Oh, man.
Because she said snap caps. They make noise.
Oh, she was thinking they were making a snap.
And she didn't hear too well. She had hearing aids.
Yeah. She just turned him down after the first one, probably.
Probably. Yeah, took him out. She didn't really realize the gun was going off until she saw the mirror fall off a wall.
Oh, my.
Because she shot the mirror.
Oh, wow.
A couple of rounds did exit the house. Thank God nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
So we go ahead and, again, I just feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
But we go ahead and we take this young lady to the range. We're shooting with everybody. We saved her for the end. And actually, Kevin was working with her, and she couldn't press the trigger.
Yeah.
To save her life with one hand. She goes, well, I got to use 2 hands to press the trigger. And we're just like, man, we're not comfortable signing off on you for your license.
Yeah.
Using 2 hands. It's just not, no, It's not going to work. So Kevin, again, helped her out, and he was actually helping her press the trigger.
Okay.
Just to see if we can help her build it up to it and everything. When it went off, she put it down. She goes, I can't do this.
Yeah. Probably the stress alone of all that.
Yes. And so, of course, we talked to her. We're not going to let her quit like that.
Right.
And Kevin, at the time, he pulled out his Glock 19.
Mm-hmm. Regular old Glock.
Showed her how it worked. Picked it up. There was like 10 rounds in there. And again, she's only shooting at like 20 feet, which is fine. That's within the zone. Yeah, most likely you're going to be involved in. And every shot was in the group the size of her fist right around the bullseye.
Jeez.
And she's like, oh, wow, I like this one.
Yeah. And it doesn't break your hand when it kicks either.
Yes. And she was able to press the trigger, do all that stuff. And I was just like shocked. Long story short, she ended up buying a Glock 19 that day. Not from us because we didn't sell guns at the time. But I saw the receipt from the gun shop where she bought the gun.
The Airweight or the Glock?
The Airweight.
Okay.
And they charged her over $900.
What?
For an Airweight.
We sold one the other day here for $300. It was
a used one.
Yeah, it's true. But
what do they go for new?
$450?
Yes.
Max? Maybe $5.
Yes. They charge her double the price for it.
Wow. I bought mine here for $450. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And I have an Airweight.
Then she bought a box of personal protection rounds, hollow points,
and
the snap caps.
Interesting.
And she was bouncing, getting really close to the $1,000 mark. And I told her at that point in time, I told her what happened. I said, you got ripped off on this bad. Take it back, do whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
And of course they wouldn't take it back. So she has a gun she's never going to use.
Jeez.
And last I haven't heard from her in about a year. So she's got to be 87-ish, and she was still shooting every week at the range.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She
Trusty
loves
Glock 19.
her trusty Glock 19.
Is that why you started selling guns?
The next day I filled out the application for the FFL to start selling guns.
That's awesome.
Because like that's just,
people,
you can't rip people off like that.
Well, there's two parts to it. At least my opinion on it is you have, and I've come from a retail background, folks. If you don't know me that well, I've been in retail for, 15 years. It's kind of like my thing. But
he's still young, folks.
I am still young. And you get people that are new that just want to be the best salesman. And then you get people that just think they know everything when they're new. And sometimes you get the salesman guy that sells you something that is just talking you into the gun that he's got in the shop.
Bingo. The one they make the highest profit margin.
Yep. And
I'll be honest, you make more money off a revolver than you do a standard semi-automatic.
But we try not. Usually we don't recommend selling revolvers to most new shooters. Some people it works well.
Listen, it's got to fit your hands. It's got to fit your needs.
Yep. Every person's different.
It is, and that's what you're comfortable with. That's what you go with.
Yep. Exactly.
But give them the option. When you walk into, and come on, ladies that are listening out there, how many times have you walked into a gun shop and they told you need a revolver because you're a female?
It's like the worst idea ever.
Yeah. If they ever tell you that, you need to walk out.
It's like a stigmatism too. That's what my wife's first gun was a revolver, a little.
It's so much easier to shoot.
No.
Okay, you press the trigger, right? Yes. What do you do with a semi-automatic? You press the trigger.
Yep.
They both go bang the same way.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays you have a lot of guns that have really light slides, like that new Shield, the
new Shield
Rugers.
EZ.
Yeah.
That thing's amazing.
The Walthers. So I mean, you can almost. We had a lady in here the other day. She had arthritis in her hands, and she was up there in age. I don't want to take a guess at it, but she did not have any hand strength. And she was able to rack two guns without a problem, doing it the proper way.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just got to be fitted correctly for your gun.
Yep.
And it's going to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
How about getting fitted correctly for a straw?
Oh, jeez. Well, let's see.
Nobody wants to talk about this subject because it's tiresome.
Yeah.
But are they
it's on social media everywhere.
Nuts out there in California?
Well, they're a little special.
A little?
Yeah. You want to hear
That's
something?
one big short bus.
People are going to laugh. I was actually born in California.
I knew there was something I didn't like about you.
That's why I'm special.
I'm only kidding. I've been in parts of California that are just gorgeous.
Yes, it's a pretty state.
Yeah. The weather down there in San Diego and everything, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't pay me enough to live there.
It's 72 and humidity's under 50 every day of the week down there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Which I love. Great motorcycle
Maybe that's
ride.
why the people are so.
Maybe. But no, they're outside with all the fresh air all the time.
That's true.
They don't have all this red tide stuff. I don't think they're.
No, they don't have red tide.
I wish some of those California people would lived out here for a little bit.
Yeah.
To get on the state about this and stop dumping all that stuff from, I guess, whatever lake it is, Okeechobee or whatever.
Okeechobee. I don't actually know why it.
That's what they blame it on. I really don't know. But it was horrible this past week.
Yes. I was watching videos and they have manatees. I saw a manatee up on the side.
Really?
Saw a Goliath grouper, a video, a guy walking down the beach with a Goliath grouper. Like, phew.
Yeah, it was bad.
Brutal.
But the straw thing, Strawgate is...
Strawgate is strong.
I knew nothing about it, so I went to a local restaurant recently, and they were telling me how they're into the straw ban thing. Would I like to use a straw? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Yes, I want a straw.
I would like to drink.
Give me a straw.
I don't want to put my lips on that.
Yeah, I have the same problem.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my lips on that glass. I'll drink out of it, but it sounds kind of weird. But so I had to look it up while I'm sitting there.
You hadn't heard it at the time.
I haven't heard it at the time.
Okay.
I'm like, are you kidding me? And the thing I saw was because of turtles in the ocean. Which I don't want to kill the turtles.
No, I agree.
They're not like that. But when we were off air, you made a good point. And what was it?
I said, when was the last time any of us ever saw, or me, I've never seen one, a straw anywhere in the ocean or in the water. I don't.
Has anybody ever seen a straw in the water?
I'm not saying that we shouldn't ban them or something like that. I'm not taking a side either way because I don't know enough about it, but I've never seen one.
No.
Ever.
I haven't.
Yeah.
But this cracks me up. And the whole thing going through my mind, of course, I'm skeptical and I just like to argue with myself sometimes.
Yeah. It's fun to argue.
How many times have you seen a condom in the water?
More than once.
Yes. How many times have you seen, and this is weird, but I've seen it, hypodermic needles in the water?
Yeah, I've seen one.
There's been news specials about that.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, if you're a drug addict, I still think they'll give you free hypodermic needles.
I'm pretty sure they do, man.
To help prevent diseases.
Yeah.
And, Planned Parenthood and all that, they give out free condoms.
Yep.
But I can't get a straw when I'm drinking a Coke.
Yeah. We should start selling like pocketable straws.
I think they need concealed weapons license or concealed straw.
Concealed straw licenses.
Say it. Is that crazy?
Tongue twister.
Now, I know it's illegal for the restaurants or something to offer them.
There's I think the way it reads is in California, it's banned from the restaurants. So, like, I'm not saying that the customer couldn't walk around with his own straw, but the disposable straws, I should rephrase that, are banned in California. And then there's a lot. You to have
a glass straw,
I guess, just the disposable ones.
In the 80s, that'd be used for Coke.
I just think we should get those.
Today, I think it'll be used for crack.
Those cool like swizzle straws. They twirl
Remember
around.
those curly straws when you were a kid you had?
They have like 8 different colors.
Yeah, and then they go around as like a roller coaster for your beverage.
5 straws go into one, and
those are fun.
Yeah,
I still like the bendy ones.
Just think about this. So how many times in high school or school did you connect 10 straws together and drink it from across the room? Those poor kids are never going to do that again. I
forgot about that.
Think about the children, folks.
We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Again, I'm joined here with Project Bryant. And again, I am Joe. And we're talking about connecting all the straws together like 10 feet away to have a drink. Would that be like a fully automatic assault straw ban?
It's an assault straw ban, yeah. You can't connect them.
Are they nuts? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I understand not polluting and all that. And I am the biggest. If I even see somebody flicking their cigarette butt out the window, it annoys me.
Yeah, I agree.
I try to be one of the cleanest people out there.
I think it's just them trying to find a solution to a problem that I don't believe exists, or at least one that I haven't seen.
I say that all the time with the AR, with the piston versus natural gas and piston.
Oh, yeah.
It's a perfect solution to a problem that didn't exist.
It never existed.
Did they just run out of stuff to complain about? All the hippies out there and everything?
A little bit.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now, is Antifa going to start coming to restaurants that actually give out straws in other states?
Yeah, beating people up.
With straws?
With straws. I think they should just give us,
paper straws, at
birth, one of those really cool swizzle straws in if they're going to do that. The twisty ones.
I'm coming up with an idea to make a concealed holster.
For a straw?
For straws that we can market in California.
That'd be cool. Kill straw holster.
You kind of just sneak a straw out.
Wait, so would that be a straw purchase?
Oh. Does everybody know what a straw purchase is?
I don't think they do.
I'll let you know real quick. Straw purchase is kind of funny. But anyway, with the ATF, if you purchase a firearm for somebody that you know can't have it,
yeah,
or for some odd reason it's just really weird to you that they're asking you to go in and buy it, folks, that's illegal. That's a straw purchase.
Yeah.
Can you buy gifts for a person?
Yes.
For a family member or something like that? Sure.
If Uncle Johnny's been convicted, don't buy Uncle Johnny a gun.
Yes. Or if your neighbor says, hey, if you're going to the gun shop, here's some money. Can you pick this gun up for me? Probably not.
Yeah.
And that's the kicker. If they give you money for it, it's definitely a straw purchase.
Yeah. No matter what, right?
There was a cop, I forget what state, maybe Virginia or something like that, and this is horrible for him to do, and it ticks me off because we sell the law enforcement guns. His uncle said, hey, can you get me this gun? I know you buy it cheaper as a law enforcement officer.
Oh, okay.
Folks, that's a special program just for law enforcement officers. They open it up to first responders and all that, but that's a special thing for them. So this law enforcement officer goes and buys this gun for his uncle under his law enforcement credentials to get a drastic discount on this gun. And it's from the manufacturer. His uncle then sends him a check for the gun. He sends him the gun.
Oh, no.
Apparently, I guess his uncle did something wrong with the gun.
And it got...
So he got locked up. So they traced where the gun was sold to. They found out, hey, it was sold to some cop. How'd he get it? So the cop goes, oh, no, I bought that from my uncle. He paid me the money and got it.
Oh,
ching, ching. To jail the cop went.
And the officer didn't know that he couldn't do that?
Even if the uncle was not a felon, he can legally own, possess, and purchase a firearm.
Yeah. It's just that he gave
it was
money.
A straw purchase.
Yeah.
If he said, I never took money from my uncle, it was a gift to him,
then it would have been
different story.
Right. And you were just buying a gift.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
A crappy thing for him to buy the gun that way.
Yeah.
These manufacturers and dealers run these programs It's really kindness. They're not making money off of it. So then you're going to go start buying for everybody. There's a couple around here that have done it. We've asked them to leave.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
They probably won't come back. But we just knew what they were doing.
That's awesome.
That's why manufacturers like Glock, when you do that, it's maximum 2 per year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
people don't go crazy. Well, they just opened it to everyone, and now everything's back ordered.
Yeah.
Just about.
That's crazy. Everybody in the firearms industry is hurting a little bit right now. So Bryant, how often do you train?
Like shooting wise, go to the range.
Yeah.
At least once a month, I will go shoot. Get my trigger
You
finger.
can always just walk right in the back and shoot.
Yeah, it's easier now that I got a range behind me.
How often do you practice getting your gun out of the holster?
I actually do that more often than you would think. I clear the gun and I do it in my bedroom in front of a mirror.
I do it in my bathroom in front of the mirror.
Yeah, that'll work too. I do that
Who's
at
that
least a couple times a week, right?
Actually, I really get scared.
My wife comes in, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm training." She's like, "Yeah, right, okay."
But I've told people to do that for years, especially law enforcement section. When you're getting dressed for work in the morning, you're putting your belt on and all that. Make sure your gun's empty.
Mm-hmm.
But practice your draw 10 times.
Yeah.
When you get home at the end of your shift, do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be surprised after about a week of doing that how much quicker you are.
Yeah.
Now, let's face it, folks. Shall I give them the boring statistics?
Yes.
It's 90-some% of the gunfights that happen within the U.S., and don't quote me on the exact numbers, are within 21 feet. That's known as the dead zone.
Yeah.
It takes the average human a second and a half to cover 21 feet. So if that person has a knife, a baseball bat, or anything like that, or they just want to punch you, you're going to be feeling it in about a second and a half.
Well, we were doing those training things here one day. You were showing me. I couldn't get it out of the holster in time.
Yeah, that was fraud. And I'm not the fastest person in the world, folks. That's for all the folks that didn't carry one in the chamber.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. So 80-some% of those gunfights. Now, when they did the crime report this year, they put law enforcement and civilians together with the shootings, which really threw it off because most of the time law enforcement, their shootings are going to be a little further distance.
Right.
But most likely, law enforcement and civilian world, if you get involved in a gunfight or something, you're going to have to...
Something to draw.
Use deadly force to stop the situation. It's most likely going to be within arm's reach. That's close.
And I got short little alligator arms too.
Yeah, little T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
So, and the duration of time did bump up a second this year, or actually last year.
Is it because they lumped them together?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's usually really weird because it used to be just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Start to finish, it's over with. Now it's 2 to 3 seconds. So think about that. If somebody is 21 feet away, they got a knife, they're running towards you. You have a second and a half. And if they're running, you got less than that. But a second and a half to realize what's going on, identify the problem, determine what you're going to do, and then get your, whatever you're going to use, your firearm, your knife, whatever it's going to be, out of the holster.
Pepper spray.
On target. Pepper spray, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
Do you think you can honestly do that in a second and a half? Most people cannot.
Yeah. I don't even know if I could, and I do it.
We do our training events, and this is how easy it is. We used to do our outdoor training events. We'd start off, and I had to do this so many times it wasn't even funny. Just make people pull the gun out of the holster. The average person was taking 6 seconds to get out of the holster. What can you lost at that point in time.
Yeah. By
the end of an 8-hour training session, everybody was well under 2 seconds. Some people were under a second.
Wow.
That means out of the holster on the target. And that means when I say on the target, that means bang, you're hitting the target.
Yeah.
That's where you need to get. Just because you carry a gun on your person, it's in your pocketbook for ladies out there. Okay, you got the gun, great. Can you actually get to it to use it?
Yeah. It's the important part.
So even if you don't go to the range once a week or once a month, you can practice those things at the house.
Yeah.
And anytime we tell you to practice something at the house, folks, please make sure it's an empty gun.
Yes. Clear it and then clear it and then clear it again.
Yeah. Take that magazine out. Take the one out of the chamber. Put the ammo in the magazine in another room. So there's no possibility of any kind of mistake. Rack that thing 100 times to make sure there's nothing in there.
Yep.
And double check, visually check.
At that point, it's just a tool or it's just a piece of steel.
Yeah, just practice getting the gun out of the holster. When you get the gun out of the holster, it should be with one hand. Not this training thing I saw recently where they want you to use 2 hands.
Just to draw it?
Yes. One to lift up your shirt, the other one to grab the gun.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? I'm 2 feet away from you.
Well, when we did our little training thing, and folks, this is coming from me who doesn't have much training. This is just a civilian's view. You were what, 20 some feet away?
Yeah, about 20 feet.
And in a split second, he would be on me, and I would have to have my left arm up to hold you off me so I could draw. Yeah. Because I wouldn't be fully drew.
And then you didn't have one in the chamber.
Yep. We were simulating if I didn't have one in the chamber.
Because there's this new thing everybody says, you don't need to carry one in the chamber.
There was no possible way I would have been able to.
Yeah.
He would have thrown me through the wall.
I had somebody from another country give me
Joe's a lot bigger than me.
A little bit bigger. I had somebody from another country on our YouTube page give me a bunch of grief for telling people to carry one in the chamber. Because he's a law enforcement officer in another country.
And he was telling you that you were
we
crazy?
should be doing that. It's not responsible.
What?
Yeah.
That's why you have a good gun with a holster.
Exactly.
Jeez. Your finger and your holster is your safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that cop out in Colorado. He had that Techniclip thing. He went to adjust his waistband when he was going to sit down.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
And he set the gun off.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week. Yeah, he goes to sit down at a little league baseball game. He goes to sit down, and as he's sitting down, he has that little Techniclip, which is like a pen thing.
Yeah, it's a clip on the side of your gun.
Yeah. Doesn't cover your trigger at all. He goes to sit down. He goes to pull up his pants just a little bit like we all do when we go to sit, and I guarantee he had trigger work done.
Probably.
But as he's pulling his pants, he pressed the trigger, and it went bang.
Jeez. At a baseball game?
A little league baseball game.
Oh, man.
Don't know what happened to him. Didn't follow it. Got sick and tired of it, but I know he got locked up for it.
Yeah.
They gave him a breathalyzer. He did have alcohol in his breath, but he was not drunk, but he was drinking.
Folks, get a holster. Good holster.
Yeah. And if you're going to go drinking, leave your gun at home. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's just an embarrassment right there.
I was going to say leave it in the car, but you shouldn't be driving either.
Exactly. I've learned my lesson with that one. So I got to start telling you about this exciting news, but we're really running out of time.
Okay.
So you're going to want to hear it. It's exciting for me. Probably exciting for Bryant, but
I think I have a guess, but I'm not sure.
Might have a guess. Listen, here's how we're going to do this. Go to our Facebook page, Talking Guns with Joe. Go to our YouTube page, Talking Guns with Joe. It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah.
Like and share this show tonight. And then we're going to tag you in what's happening.
In the announcement?
Yes.
So if they like the video and they share the video,
we'll tag you in it so you'll be the first to know what's going on.
What the news is. Okay.
So
I dig that.
Brian, it was fun having you here today.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
We're going to have to do it again.
Yeah.
We can do it again soon, and we're going to talk more about knives, I think.
Yeah, I'm a knife junkie. I could talk about knives for days.
Yeah, even though it's talking guns.
There's guns with knives.
Guns with knives.
Oh.
Folks, have a great night. We'll see you next week.
See you, folks.